Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Black Adam. It's a movie starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, uh, the guy from the love interest on All the Boys You've Loved Before, Pierce Brosnan, and other people that I don't know the name of and haven't seen anything. So, yeah. Alrighty. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. I don't remember there being any furry of note. So, moving on. So this movie is about, shocker, Black Adam, but just so that if you're wondering, do they say the name in the movie, here's your spoiler for that, so skip ahead 10 seconds. They don't say it in the movie. They call him Tet Adam the whole time, or Teth Adam, I guess, according to captions, maybe? I don't, Tet, whatever, Adam. They don't even say the name. It's not until, like, the very end. Okay, here's another spoiler. He survives. I know, you're shocked. But they don't even say his name until, like, they don't actually say his name. They just cut to the title, Black Adam, when they're like, oh, what name to go with? And he, like, does his little thing at the camera, and then Black Adam, the title. Okay, so, anywho, getting back to the actual meat and potatoes of the movie. So, this movie could have been very bad because they have a guy who can get big, a chick who does, like, wind things, and a sorcerer. One might call him a supreme sorcerer. So, and then a guy who basically is Superman, but with, lightning instead of laser vision. So, it could have been as shitty as the Eternals was, right? Because the Eternals is basically Justice League, but with shittier movie. So, this was actually really good. It doesn't, like, blast me completely out of the water of its awesomeness, but I was very pleasantly surprised because I went into this being like, it's a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie. I don't need any other reason to see it. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is in it, so I'm going to see it. The fact that it's a action/superhero movie is just icing on the cake. So let's do this. So I went in not knowing anything, and I liked it because how they animated the CGI of the superheroes' abilities and the fights, and how they implemented the powers that, yeah, we've seen a lot of these powers before, like how they implemented them and how they showed them working together against each other, whatever else on screen, I thought brought it in a very fresh way. It wasn't boring. It wasn't like, okay, and we've seen that done before, okay, we've seen that done before, and better in this other movie. It wasn't like how when you watch, the Quicksilver guy, and then you're like, well, I mean, I saw him in X-Men First Class, or whatever one the Quicksilver was in, where he did that awesome thing in the Pentagon. Like that, you can't really beat that in the slow-mo thing. Everything else is like, that's the gold standard, and you're comparing that to that. And then it's like, okay, so we have, Doctor Strange and whatever Multiverse of Madness awesomeness, and now we have a sorcerer, so you got to compare the gold standard to that. And I think that they did it in a way where you don't really have to compare them, where they did it their own way and in an entertaining, interesting, fresh look at how the powers can be implemented and how they can be shown on screen to interact with each other and with the environment. So I appreciated that, and it kept me interested on top of the general storyline I thought was really good. It wasn't overly predictable, and the like little twists here and there that they had to like keep things interesting, I liked. I liked the banter that the characters had back and forth. And yeah, I will say that probably the thing that I think was least believable for me, and I'm sorry, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I love you to death, I really do, but I feel like the last time we saw you as an evil guy, it was like, what was it, 5 minutes of doom when you got infected by something and were the evil guy? Like, that's kind of all I can remember. I know you were in the Scorpion King, or as the Scorpion King in The Mummy Returns, but like, at that point you were a giant scorpion. And so your badness wasn't really like bad. So haven't really seen you be the bad guy in the things that I can remember of you. So it was really hard for me to think of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the Black Adam character, as a bad guy. And I know that they were, and I feel like they were trying to lean into that this movie, but I don't think they did that quite enough because they want him to be redeemable, and they want him to be, I don't know, like not an evil character, just a guy with slightly different morals. And I felt like they didn't quite get there with that for me, and maybe it's just because I've seen Dwayne Johnson be a good guy so many times that even when he was trying to be like bad, or I guess not acting bad, but even though his character was doing like bad things, I'm just like, you go get him, Dwayne. You go get him. You doing the right thing because you Dwayne Johnson. You know, like even though maybe he wasn't doing the right thing, but to me it was like, yep, that was the right choice. That was the right choice. You doing right. So that's where I was at for this movie. So yeah, I think that other than that, they did a good job, and I think that part of it is that they were setting him up to, I don't know, team up with the Justice League or something. Like it wasn't he wasn't gonna be the evil character, and I don't think so. Like Deadpool, being the guy that like shoots the bad guys as opposed to taking them prisoner or whatever. He has clearly good morals and good guy, just shooting bad guys instead of capturing them, type of like that one thing. Whereas Black Adam, I feel like they were trying to lean further into like he's bad, but then they were like, but he's not really bad. He just kills criminals. And I feel like they did a better, clearer job with Deadpool, whereas this one, from what I've heard, and I haven't heard a whole lot about Black Adam, the character, before this movie or anything, but I heard that he was supposed to be like the bad guy. So I feel like if they wanted him to be the bad guy, because when I want to say when this was first announced, like 10 fucking years ago or whatever, I was like, oh, he's going to be a bad guy. Interesting. And I feel like they didn't go bad enough with him. But yeah, still overall good, and good movie, sorry. And I like the interaction that he had with various characters, and the why that characters were doing things I thought was good explanations for them, good logic to it. I like that they didn't spend too much time on this, that, or the other explanation. And so just the flow and the pace of the movie was really good. I thought that they did that well. The cinematography, the music, I don't remember anything specifically being like, oh, that's such good music. But nothing was bad about that. So yeah, acting was great. Script was good. Just overall, really great movie. So hopefully you take a chance to see this and just understand that I think that I feel like DC finally got their shit together. Like they did a good job with this. So I hope that they continue this trend. They had the Suicide Squad, which was really good. They had this one. But maybe I'm also not the best judge of the DC universe, because I felt like Batman v Superman, the extended cut only, was really good. And then I liked Justice League well enough, if I remember correctly. But I definitely loved the hell out of the Zack Snyder cut. So, yeah, DC, I think, has gotten a hard rap, at least in the critic realm, or the, like, general news realm of, like, oh, DC can't live up to Marvel. Like, I think that in some ways they do better at things. Like, think about the Eternals, man. Like, the Eternals. And you got this movie. This movie's really good, so go watch this movie. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.